Now, the ear is not just responsible for hearing.
There we have balance, and the section of the ear, it's also in the inner ear, that has to do with balance, are the 3 semicircular canals, and you can see that they lie at 90-degree angles from one another, and they contain the sensory receptor organs. There you see at the basis of each and every of those canals, you have a widening there, the ampulla, and within the ampulla you get the cupula. I'll just show you, or we're going to show you the next slide, we will show you, but there's the ampulla within the ampulla, and then we have these 2 sac-like structures, the top one, the utricle, and then the saccule at the basis of that. And
Okay,
Lorraine.
balance is something where your cerebellum is responsible for your balance. And sorry, it seems that we forgot to translate those 2 things, but anyway, what's important here, is that there are 2 aspects to balance. It is the position of your head with relation to the ground. In other words, are you lying flat or are you upright? And then the movement of your head. Those are the 2 types of stimuli that causes the impulse that you can pick up as balance. Remember, hearing is interpreted by your cerebrum. Balance by the cerebellum is controlling balance. Yes, and that is what happens inside the semicircular canal.
And this has got to do with the movement of the head. So, for instance, if you look at the cupula inside, if you move or turn your head to the right, the endolymph in this canal will turn to the left, the opposite direction. And it bends the cupula over, and this is a bit, I know if it's a bit too difficult for you to understand now don't panic about it.
Simply look at my head now. I'm moving like this and I'm moving like that. The fluid, the liquid inside the ampulla are flowing and flowing and flowing. And as it flows, the cupula is stimulated.
Yeah. So, and that the cupula is then bending over to that side, which means the sensory hair cells at the base of this, they get the information, and then it is sent with a vestibular nerve towards the cerebellum.
Yeah. There you can see. It's actually a beautiful picture, you know.
It is, eh?
There you can see how the movement of the endolymph will move the cupula, and it's a moving stimulus that is then changed into an impulse, interpreted as or part of the balance. Right. There in the utricle and the sacculus, you've also got the otoliths and the otolithic membrane. It's a macula.
Once again, it's all these difficult terms. I mean, imagine just listening to in the utricle and the saccule, they get the macula, and in the macula you get these otoliths. And as a Section A type of question, they ask you this little crystals of calcium carbonate. What are they called? And
actually
remember,
quite valuable.
yes.
You've got little marble crystals inside your
Yeah.
head. Microscopically small though.
Right.
But
So-
as they roll around as you move, and just for interest sake to give you sense, sometimes you turn around and when you come to a standstill, you're still dizzy. And that's simply because these little crystals are still moving and then they have to settle. And that movement is interpreted as balance. It's that movement that tells the part of your brain responsible for balance, your cerebellum, and also the message to your cerebrum so that you're aware of it, where your head is in relationship to the ground.
I mean, you can just plain and simply ask yourself the question, why is it that I tilt my head to the left? Why is it because of gravity? It
Yeah.
doesn't fall down to the ground. And that is because the message that is sent in your macula, that is why other senses and messages are sent to your muscles within your body. And this is the next slide, is so important to show you that our ear does not work in isolation.
And this could be a question.
It is. It doesn't work in isolation. So if you can just have this slide so that they can see, because the messages must be sent to your muscles and your joints. So your proprioceptors, they receive this message, so they must tell the muscles, okay, you must constrict this much or that much to keep the body in balance. If you stand in the shower and you can't see, you feel you're off balance. So your eyes, which is the visual system, that also plays a very important and pivotal part. And then, of course, as we have shown you, the labyrinth, the vestibular system that we have just looked at, that is also within your ear. So all of these, they work together to give your body and to keep the balance.
Yeah, that proprioceptive system that you've talked about, the muscles and the joints, you've got all of these nerves all over your body in the muscles and the joints. And they tell your body what your position is, what enables us to sit upright. We're not even aware that in all over through your body, in muscles and joints, there are little nerve cells that tells your brain and the part responsible for balance that this muscle is contracting, that one is now doing that. Yes. And quite often when you get an injury, for instance, you hurt your ankle, those nerves are also damaged and you have to teach them to walk properly again. That's part of your treatment and your rehabilitation then.
Yeah, this was quite a mouthful for them, I suppose. But I think the whole idea is go back, go to your diagrams first, make yourself know all the parts, know the names, so that they are not that foreign to you, and then maybe you'll understand a bit better.